Show me the thing! Alright, well, it's always cool when I actually have a fan here to show off his build. So this is Ian, and these are his builds. Tell us about them.
So this is, what, my third mod ever? This one I've been working on for probably the last month, getting all the body work done. I really didn't like the nose piece on the Stampede, so I chopped it off. It's just off of a Recon. It runs off of a 3S LiPo. It's all wired into the battery tray back here.
So I assume turn on the voltmeter?
Yeah, and then voltmeter there. It needs a lot of work still. It's
still some
just primer.
Body work up
still
here.
Body work there.
Dremeling here.
Ammo counter is going to be mounted here.
Very cool.
I'm going to do an OLED, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Very nice. And you were talking about select fire?
Yep, I'm going to rewire a select fire up to here. I'm going to run it off an Arduino. It's going to be the same Arduino that runs the ammo counter.
Oh, very cool.
Because it'll be, I'll be able to use the same variables and stuff in the programming. Make things a lot more tidy.
Yeah. Nice thing about the Stampede is there's so much room back here, especially once you switch to LiPo.
Oh yeah.
That 6 D-cell battery tray is just fill me with whatever you need. Just cram it in here. So.
Another feature that I'm throwing around, but I'm not entirely sure of yet, is putting power jacks here and on the other side, so I can run powered attachments off the rail. And then, of course, I'll be putting another battery pack back here to run all that.
You actually have a feature on Ire where there's a jack on the back that I can plug in another device, not the shoulder cannon. That plugs in down here. There's another one that allows me to plug into a battery pack on the inside and power something. I hadn't thought of rail-attached powered attachments.
That's kind of where I got the idea, but I also had a swarm fire laying around. And I figured that'd be really nice if I could
that would be pretty cool.
And power it. So that's the plan.
I wonder if you could do something where you replace the rail notches with leads.
That's one thing.
Downsides then if you might accidentally electrocute yourself if you just grab it.
That's one thing that I thought of, and also, yes, electrocution of self would not be ideal.
Something that covered it up. But yeah, just a jack would be the easiest. But yeah.
I'm thinking 2 jacks, 1 on each side.
I like that.
And then, of course, copying Ire, putting another trigger down there.
Yep. Very cool. No, I like it. I like the semi-minimized look of it. The rail removed and the barrel shortened. I like a full-size rifle, but I like the look. That's a nice minimized look. But not the extreme minimized that I have on my modular one. I like it.
Main inspiration with this one was, I forget the guy's name, otherwise I'd credit him. He did a flat top Stampede that I really, really liked.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those.
I decided I wanted an ammo counter and needed a place to put it.
Yeah, so I put Ire's way back here, but it if you don't do it just right, the bolt catches it, which luckily the one I got sent was minuscule in size, so that is very, very cool. Let's take a look at the other one. He's done a minimized demolisher as well, taking off the launcher, and this is a Vagabond priming handle, which looks gorgeous on this.
Yeah, when I cut off the launcher and all that, I needed something else to go in there. No, it looks like the glue didn't take on that.
Yeah, I thought I may have just broken it.
I
thought I was like, oh, did he reduce it so it comes off? No, it's not supposed to. It does now.
All that's holding that in right now is some epoxy putty. So, because I got to be able to get to the screw port for that, because I forgot to put that on.
Oops.
So, yeah. So I'm not too worried about it. But other than that, body work, that one is done. I think. It'll be getting a few upgrades. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with it yet. Kicking around the idea of moving the battery from up here to down here.
Yeah, he currently has it in the jam door where it fits. That's quite ingenious, really. But yeah, this would be a little bit...
Yeah, I did this before I added that.
Oh, okay.
So...
Yeah, there's more than enough room in there if you Dremel it out a little bit more, which would be pretty cool.
Yep.
Make it more forward heavy, but not much. Lipos aren't terribly heavy compared to,
all
D cells or something.
And then run this with a Raider stock or something like that.
Or just as a beastly pistol.
Yep.
Very nice. What do you got for internals? Anything special yet?
MTB rhinos.
Cool.
Other than that, nothing.
Stock cage, stock wheels.
Stock cage, stock wheels. Don't quite have the money to shell out for some upgrade stuff. I'm thinking some worker stuff.
Yeah.
So.
OFP has demolisher cages.
Yeah, I consider that too, but I don't know. We'll see.
I don't think I have any printed, or I'd give you one. Yeah. Very cool.
Yep. Oh, one other feature that I'm planning is I'm going to redesign this battery cover with a slanted cover, and then I'll be able to mount an OLED on the side here.
A what now?
An OLED display.
Oh.
So I'll be able to have some form of ammo counter down there too.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
So.
That's really creative. Since you're not using this battery tray for anything else, you could,
pretty much
mount your Arduino and a little display in there.
Yep.
Very cool.
And then all this room for batteries. So.
Yeah. I like it. Awesome. Very, very cool. On to the next one. Going to be a lot of pistols in this episode for some reason, starting with a bunch by Froopty. This is what he has to say about it. This is my current loadout, all of which I am retiring. The X-Shot shotgun Titan monstrosity is Thea. She has a hammershot absolver that is stuck on her, and in the shotgun itself is a big bad bowspring with the stock spring and another spring from a blaster that I don't remember. The big shot is hand cannon. She is a PVC barrel to replace the mega barrel that snapped off, and also a shell from another big shot. She also has a retaliator spring along with the stock spring, and a machine screw holding the plunger head on, which is probably a good idea. The fire strike is Nightmare, and has an extended plunger tube with K26. The priming rod was from a dart tag blaster that snapped off during a war, and it has the light part of the grip epoxy puttied shut for comfort. Well, I think these are lovely. I enjoy a good jank blaster thanks to having John in my shop so often. I'm gonna miss him. On to the next one. Up next we have London's minimized Raptor Strike. It had a sling fire spring added. It's got the AR removed as well as the posts. Had most of the locks removed. He's cut off the barrel in the stock and added a tri-strike barrel attachment point and putting a strong catch spring in it. And then obviously, as you can see, he's painted it gold, which I think actually looks really, really good on this particular blaster. Yeah, it's kind of a long for a pistol, but I'm going to put it down as a pistol just because this is a pistol round mostly. But not only. On to the next one. Up next we have SlimerBot99 and 3 pistols that he submitted. The first one he named Equinox, and it has been hydro-dipped and came out absolutely gorgeous, I think. I really need to learn to hydro-dip. I know the fundamentals, I've just never actually tried a setup. Next, he's got Stripe, for obvious reasons, which as far as I know is just a paint job. Both of these, I don't think they had much in the way of internal or external modifications. And finally, we have his Nightfinder that he named Spectre, just to be extra confusing, I suppose. And it has been minimized, but then had the handle extended, I assume to hold extra darts. It looks like he moved the dart holder from under the barrel to into the handle, which I think is actually kind of a neat idea. So, well done there, SlimerBot99. Next! Up next we have a whole series of pistols by Steve. Don't have a whole lot of information as far as internal modifications, but as you can see, the external modifications, the paint jobs on these, are absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful weathering on the first couple that we have here. No orange safety tips. I'm assuming that they're being used in some manner of LARP. Given the paint jobs, I would assume some manner of post-apocalyptic LARP. But still, be careful about your paint jobs. The next couple we have are ones that are clearly in progress, ones where he's using the shells from other blasters to augment pistols, and I really like the way he's done both of these ones, the double strike and then a pair of scouts, because the scout is such a marvelously comfortable blaster, and I like that he's extended him and made him look a little bit beefier and more sci-fi with that. I'd love to see how they turn out, or if this is perhaps their finished form. And then we've got a couple where he's integrated some various blasters together. I very much like this one because the Rebel handles are so wonderfully comfortable, whereas the Doomlands handles are just ergonomic nightmares. And then this last one, I would love to see how this one comes out when it's all painted, but just the in-progress work looks like it's going to be really, really neat. So, well done, Steve. Next, we have a pistol by Meow121323 that he names Siva Project Null.7. And I like it. Well done, Meow121323. The next pistol was submitted by Jonathan, and as far as I know, it's also just a cosmetic paint job, but fairly well done. He said it was his first paint job, and there's a couple of things that he should probably work on as far as, coating. It looks like you might have tried to put on too thick of a coat at a time. Always do a really light coat. Do multiple light coats rather than trying to do one thick coat. One thick coat will clot and run and all of that, whereas multiple light coats will dry and will stay much cleaner. Also, always make sure that you sand everything first so that things permeate better. So, yeah, there you go. First try. Well done, Jonathan. This next pistol was made by the Foulmouth Nerfer of Canada and is, as you can see, a drop cylinder strong arm that he calls Bloody Justice 2.0. I believe the original Bloody Justice is the Crimson Maverick that he sent to me, which is really, really cool. It's an excellent addition to the collection since there wasn't any actual Crimson Mavericks ever produced. So that's awesome, and the drop cylinders are very, very nifty, especially on the strong arms. It also has a spring upgrade and the AR removed. Next, we have his Rampage, which has the same upgrades, spring and AR, and then a paint job. He has 2 different stocks for it and 2 different magazines for it. So I think that's pretty cool. Well done, Foulmouth Nerfer of Canada. Next up, we have a Prophecy made by Seth. It has, obviously, one of the sniper cosmetic kits for it. It has all the usual internals. And I really like the paint job that he did. The gray and light blue that he's chosen really goes well together, in my opinion. Now, he has the smoky black Prophecy, and perhaps the blue one would have gone better. I wanted the smoky black one, but they sent me the blue one. He clearly could have done better with the blue one, but got the smoky black one. There's no justice in the world. Anyway, I really like it. Well done, Seth. Now we have an item, an absolutely magnificent item by Blues NASA Talk, and it is a CO2-powered umbrella blaster, and it's just fantastic. I could definitely use some cosmetic work. I mean, if you could design, something that was 3D printed to house all of the mechanics, it would look cosmetically wonderful. But functionally, this thing is apparently absolutely absurd. And the fact that it acts as a shield, in addition to having a really high-powered blaster built into it, is really, really neat. So, yeah, Blues NASA Talk. Cool stuff. Next. Up next, we have a pair of items by Jackal42 Foxtrot. First one here is a painted hammer shot, and he's done something on the hammer shot here that I haven't seen done very often, and I really like how it looks. He's painted more of the shell brown to give it more of a wood look than you usually see. Obviously, people usually paint, the handle so that it's brown and looks like it's wood, but he's done a little bit of the area just behind and below the cylinder brown. And for some reason, I just really like how that looks. And then the weathering is obviously very, very well done. And he's kept a little bit of, the orange up above the cylinder and the cylinder orange, and I appreciate that as well. Next, we have a look at his stryfe, which is similarly very well painted and has a recon stock. I don't know if it's been reinforced in any way, but another just very well done paint job, and has kept the barrel orange despite everything else being very well painted and weathered and all of that. So, very well done, Jackal42 Foxtrot. Who's next? Up next, we have our very own Jimmy Barr, who keeps sending me just amazing package after amazing package. And what we have here is a Super Soaker Max D4000 that he has converted into a dart blaster sniper rifle, because these things have a ridiculously high ammo capacity, or air capacity. A lot of the old Super Soakers were designed to squirt, huge blasts of water, but it meant they had to have a fairly sizable reservoir for the air that powered it, and so it was a fairly simple conversion apparently. And then he uses a ridiculously long CPVC barrel, and this thing is apparently absolutely absurd in the ranges and the power it can hit, which is arguably probably slightly dangerous, but it's a single shot multiple pump blaster. It's not one that you're likely to accidentally fire at somebody. But still, be careful with your super high-powered blasters. Make sure that everyone, has good eye pro and is aware of the amount of power that things are being shot at you. But I really like the paint job as well. I think it's a really well done, very modernish, spacey-looking design. I like that. Well done, Jimmy. Up next, we have a stryfe by Matt that has been painted in N-Strike colors, which for some reason tickles me deeply. I have a strange affinity to the N-Strike colors, the old yellow blasters from back in the day, and I think he's done a really good job here of capturing that color scheme. I don't know how well it's actually matched to N-Strike yellows, but it sure looks good. I don't know why he then has an N-Strike Elite stock on it. I hope he eventually painted a yellow stock or acquired a yellow stock, but I love what he has done with this one, so well done, Matt. Up next, we have Dyjan's doubled hammer shot that he has named Jekyll and Hyde, and he's got a whole bunch of pictures of all the different angles of how this thing fits together and how the hammers are linked and how the triggers are linked, and it's just a really neat build and a really neat concept. I can't imagine it's the most functional or practical blaster, but good lord, that is not the point when you build something this neat and strange. He didn't bother to sand or cover any of the epoxy because he was going for the Jekyll and Hyde look, which is a very, oh good lord, what is that kind of feel about it, and I think he definitely captured that here, so well done, Dyjans. We now have a whole series of blasters by Raiderous, and most of them beautiful paint jobs, some cosmetic work here and there. Up first we have Afterburner is what he named this particular Kronos, and very fitting given the paint job. It does not in fact have afterburners in it, but love the paint job. The orange and green actually go really well together. Up next we have his fairly heavily modified Nemesis. It's got a scorpion barrel on it, which does actually rotate. He is planning to eventually swap that out for a Punisher barrel once he can get his hands on one, and I highly recommend that. He's also done a beautiful paint job. Love the paint job. Definitely excellent color scheme, and a full 3S LiPo rewire. So this is a beast of a thing, and I like it. Also, well named Behemoth. Very fitting. Next we have a stryfe that he named Butcher. And it has, it does have afterburners. This one actually does. It has an extended barrel. It then has a whole extra stryfe cage put on there. And then it has an integrated stock as well as the Chris Vector magwell setup. So it's a very unique looking blaster as far as the external cosmetics. And I really like that. And this, it's called Butcher because he has later gone on to add, I believe, an axe blade to it, a butcher knife looking blade below the barrel for cosmetics, and I once again really like that. You can also see another blaster right below that where he's done the flame paint job, and he really does a very good job with that. I really like that. Next, we have his long shot that he has named Hazchem. It's got all the usual internal goodies as far as massive upgrades, and then he has done the deploy stock modification. For those of you who can't imagine why anyone ever buy a deploy, because the stocks, one, they actually work as hammer shot holsters, but they also look absolutely beautiful on a long shot. So well done with that. Well done. Next we have his upgraded Rapid Red that he has named Pumpkin, which I think is slightly odd since it's not a pump action blaster, but it does have a pumpkin painted on the side. So there you have it. Love the paint scheme, of course. It also has been upgraded, though I don't know if it's 2S or 3S, but it's a beautiful blaster nonetheless. And the final one he has named Sledgeling, because it's a sledge fire and a sling fire put together. Very well done. I like how that one came out. Honestly, I don't know if it actually uses Sledgefire shells. I doubt it, but he does have the Sledgefire stock on there still, though that hasn't been painted to match the rest. But I really do like the paint scheme on this one. It's got plenty of red, plenty of gray, still plenty of orange. So I really like how that one came out. Just a really beefy looking Slingfire with that Sledgefire barrel on it. So well done all around, Raiderous. Last but certainly not least, we have an arsenal as well as a uniform, an outfit, by Robert from the Netherlands. And I will go ahead and let him do the Up next, we have an entire loadout, including tactical gear, by Robert from the Netherlands, and here are his words on it. What is it for? I use this outfit for a LARP event called EOS Frontier, a sci-fi LARP event in the Netherlands. I play a soldier for a Special Forces unit on the world EOS. The reason the barrels are not orange is that Dutch law simply doesn't care what color your barrels are. If you walk around with a semi-realistic looking firearm in public, you are in trouble no matter what color you make your barrel. So we play just across the border in Belgium, where the rules are slightly more relaxed and where we have access to more secluded areas to keep the toys out of sight back home. The gear, Tala, the Retaliator, is a simple close-quarters pistol, air restrictor removal, painted and otherwise stock. She is reliable and purposely left low power to shoot people at close range when there is no room to swing my katana. She has a weathered look because my character has been using her for a while. Hanan, Rampage, has air restrictor removed, locks removed, and a 7 kg spring. She is built for relatively close quarters. To give a more classic shotgun look, For her, I printed a 3D printed pump grip that I found on Thingiverse. I also have ordered a worker stock to go with it. I specifically gave Hanan a new look rather than weathered because my character received this in-game as a good luck present from his mother to keep him safe from those nasty aliens. Miari, Rapid Strike, is my primary. Her Eternals look a bit sloppy because this was my very first electrical build. She... 3 MTB Neo Rhino motors, a worker aluminum canted flywheel cage, worker aluminum flywheels, full rewire, a Blaster Smith UK wire and switch plate, including 3 switches, and Eternergy Graphene 1000 mA 3S 65C LiPo pack with XT60. Simple voltmeter wired to the jam door, 2X worker Picatinny rail on the side, bright flashlight, and an adjustable laser pointer and a mock scope. Nerf barrel extension to make it look a little fancier without sacrificing too much accuracy. Everything has been weathered to give her a bit of a worn look. The outfit is a simple Cryptek Typhoon BDU with unit and army patches, long black coat, a TF3 airsoft armor holding 2 12-round magazines for Hanan and 5 6-round magazines for Tala, including quick draw. The armor also holds my comm system and a back scabbard for my katana. The helmet is a simple mesh mask, which has already been replaced with a new helmet since the pictures were taken. Finally, the 2 Blastersmith UK leg drop ammo pouches strapped to the left leg, holding a total of 6 18-dart magazines, and the Blastersmith UK leg drop holster for the Retaliator on my right. So this is an absolutely beautiful loadout. The blasters are all very, very well done. Very clean paint jobs. Excellent upgrading where there has been any upgrading. And I really like how he's done them. The black and white and the names in red with different styling on the writing, it looks to me. I could be completely wrong. And then the actual loadout, very sci-fi, very, very well done. I like everything about this. I approve of the new helmet. The helmet that he had... I was just offered to, so another company contacted me and wants me to review it, so I'll be able to show off the one that he has. And, yeah, all around, I like it. Well done, Robert. So that does it for another episode of Featured Fan Builds. If your build wasn't featured, it's because I just haven't gotten to it yet. I have over, I think, still 150 submissions to get through, and at 15 an episode, that's 10 episodes, so it could be a while since I only do these once a month, but I will hopefully get to everybody eventually. If you think yours should have been featured by now, let me know. I have the new email address specifically for the featured fan builds, and I pretty much have just been letting it get filled. I haven't been responding because I just haven't. If you're going to send me stuff, there is a special email for that, featured fan builds, and go ahead and send it to there. Try to make the pictures, fairly focused. I've gotten a lot that were so out of focus, I really couldn't use them because you couldn't even tell what it was a picture of. So do try to have it fairly focused. A neutral background is also better. I don't expect, professional level photography. I certainly can't produce professional level photography, but try not to have too much clutter in the background as it makes it hard to see what your build is. Be sure to tell me what your name is or what you would like to be called, because otherwise I'm just going to use the name that's on your email address. If the blaster has any internals you want to talk about, any history you want to talk about, anything like that, go ahead and add that. And I look forward to seeing what you guys send me, because there are some really, really cool builds that I've been sent. So thank you for that, and thank you for watching.